recording. You never know if I'm going to remember to record or not. So I always have to make really big notes for myself. But I'm excited y'all are here. So thanks for joining us. I know last week we had to kind of reschedule, but y'all made it tonight. So I'm excited. We have Sara here tonight. So I don't know if y'all realize, and Sara, I haven't even told you this, but you know, I do a lot of prayer over who I ask to lead our team call. Like I kind of, you know, I've been with Plexus for a while. And so I know a lot of names of Jules, and I've followed a lot of Jules and just people that have come in this company, but I always kind of let God guide me on like, who do we need to share their story? Like who maybe has something that would resonate with some of us. And I go to the Jules page and I just watch and I'm like, who do I really think I need to ask? And Sara popped up and I was like, I just really need to ask her. And so thankfully, even though I know you said this, you know, isn't something that you're like, yes, let me be a public speaker for the rest of my life. Maybe not your favorite thing, but we all know we have to overcome some fears sometimes and do the scary things to grow. And really just the one Plexus, right? Like it blesses others, our stories do. So we are very thankful for you and you are welcome to take it away.
Okay, thank you. Oh my gosh. Hi, everyone. Great to be here tonight. Thank you, Kendall, for asking me. This is really a privilege. It's fun to be with you all, get to share my story. Like you said, it's really my message, right? It was a mess and now it's my message, and I get to share that with everybody, with whomever is wanting to listen in. And I hope you find value in it tonight, something to take away from. My name is Sara Holwerda. I'm from Michigan, so I'm 902 right now in comparison to your 802. I'm a 52-year-old mom. I'm an adoptive mom. I'm a boy mom. We have 4 boys, 21, 19, 17, and 12. I've been married to my husband for 27 years. It'll be 27 years this August. He's an assistant principal, high school, and I can kind of now add Sapphire Ambassador to my list of accomplishments, which is pretty huge for me, huge for anybody in this company, such a huge gift. My team, I have dubbed Team Nourishing Hope. That is the name of my team, those that I work with. And we kind of took March 2022 by storm. And in the first quarter, we pushed for this huge accomplishment and we hit our goal. I'm pretty doggone proud of what we accomplished together. That's what I love about this business, is it wasn't me. It was certainly a together goal. It didn't happen overnight. That's totally okay. I'm thankful for the many lessons that I learned, the personal growth that has occurred, and the perfect timing of this rank up. The journey has always been more important than the destination, but this destination has been a huge blessing as so many more teammates, coworkers have risen up with me, along with me, and we won't stop until everyone is at the top with us. The success for us on our team is when we are all reaching back to bring as many as we can along with us on this journey to the top. So for those of you that don't know me, haven't seen me on Facebook or know my story at all, I thought I'd start at the beginning. That's a part of my story too. It may have physically taken us 6 years to get to the Sapphire promotion level with Plexus, but really it's more like 52 years for me. The story leading up to this destination really began way, way back. As I said, I'm a 52-year-old adoptive mom, 4 boys. Love being a boy mom. It's loud, it's crazy, it's energetic, can be stinky sometimes. Sports loving, kind of always on the move, momming, and really it's the best job that there is. They are my first priority always have been, always will be. But they are why I do what I do, and they are why I am who I am. I was an English teacher way back in a former life. I taught high school English for 5 years, which is another great job. I consider I loved it. It was top of my list for all jobs. I always wanted to be a teacher from very young age. But when we had our first child after 4 years of teaching, I knew there was a stirring in me that I maybe needed to stay home at some point. Didn't know when that was going to happen, but when he came along, I just knew that I couldn't be the English teacher that I wanted to be and the parent I wanted to be and do everything all at once. So when my husband, who was a teacher also at the time, got his promotion to assistant principal a year after that, after our first son was born, that was it. That was when I needed to quit my teaching job. And I have not once regretted that decision. It's been the greatest privilege and joy of my life. And I've been a stay-at-home mom turned work-at-home mom ever since. And that's been 20 plus years now. Plexus came into my life in January 2016 through a friend of mine from our church. You may know her, Diamond Ambassador Chris Rosenkrantz. She is my sponsor. And honestly, we didn't really know each other all that well. I just knew that she knew health because she was a PE teacher at the time. And we didn't have overlapping kids at all, but I just knew Chris and I trusted Chris. But at that time, I had been praying for a couple of specifics, obviously for my health. I had a laundry list of health issues I was dealing with that were hindering me from kind of being the mom that I really wanted to be. I had daily panic attacks, sleep issues, digestive issues, chronic fatigue, brain fog, chronic allergies that turned into sinus infections, food sensitivities. I just didn't feel like myself most days. We had just adopted our youngest son from Ethiopia. As I said, I'm an adoptive mom. And it was a challenge really to acclimate a 4-year-old little boy into a new language, new culture, new home, new everything. And that was stressful. I would do it over again in a heartbeat. That's a huge blessing in my life. But yet that stress really exacerbated my health issues. Adoptions also, especially international ones, are very pricey. And even though we had saved, we had fundraised to pay for it, we carried quite a bit of debt. And so my husband and I were on the same page about me needing to go back to work. So at about the same time God was lining up my health story, he was also lining up my story for going back to work. So even though I agreed with my husband, I just couldn't think about going back to work after being home with my kids for 15 years. It just made me super anxious. I was terrified, if I'm honest. That word, it terrified me to go back to work. And at 45 at that time, besides mothering 4 boys and teaching, I had no idea what I could do. What was I qualified to do? And would people really want me at the age that I was going back into the workforce? I didn't want to leave my kids. So besides praying for my health at that time, I was also praying for an opportunity where I could work from home. I could make a difference in the world like I had when I taught, where I could make my own hours around my family's busy lives, and one where I could make at least a teacher's salary or more. Was that too tall of an order for the Lord? I placed it before him. I wondered, I prayed. I didn't think a job, honestly, like that existed, for one. So I thought, yes, this is a tall order. But I wanted to also be picky because I thought, quite frankly, this could be the last job that I might ever do at my age. I would probably be retiring, doing this after this one job. So when Chris started posting, my sponsor started posting about health products that seemed so different than any other wellness products I had tried or researched, I paid attention. I tried everything with very little success, but because these products were gut health focused, blood sugar stabilizing, and focused on reducing inflammation, I felt God not just saying, go for it, just do it, yes. And after 4 months of researching, praying, asking a ton of questions, poor Chris, she learned a lot from me because I pushed her to find the answers. I said yes in April of 2016, and I just celebrated my 6-year Plexiversary. I saw people in this Plexus kind of arena building home-based businesses and with these amazing products. And I saw women like Diamond's Helen McFadden, Sonia Dudley, Lori Bradford. They are all my age, and I took note of them as well because they are all in my upline. And I kept hearing, again, the Lord kept saying, hey, they're doing it. I kept saying that to myself, they're doing it. God said, well, you can do it too. So do it. And so I took a leap of faith with that as well. I knew this was the opportunity I had been praying for. This had always been my plan A. I thought, hey, I'm in charge of this, right? Can't be all that bad if I'm in charge of my own business. So literally that day that I clicked enroll, I went to Facebook, I shared. I figured maybe others would want to see, what my journey was all about, and why not share the message of health and happiness with others. I obviously didn't have a testimony, but I could be the messenger of what these supplements could do for others. My husband, we're iron sharpens iron. We're a bit of a competitive marriage, which is what I love about him, honestly. And he just said, well, you got 60 days. Why not try and get your products paid for in 60 days? That was it. I shook his hand and I said, that challenge is accepted. So I went silver really before my products even arrived at my doorstep, which is just crazy to me. Back in 2016, we had a lot of shipping challenges and back office changeover and such. And it took 14 days for my products to get to me. And I thought, holy cow, I'm posting about something I haven't even literally tried. But again, that leap of faith, right? That first sip of Slim, thank goodness, tasted really good because I had 3 people that were already on my team also waiting for their products. I went gold in 4 months, senior gold in 6. We ranked to Ruby the month before my 1-year Plexiversary. I was having a ton of fun. People's lives were changing and people on my team were sharing because they loved how they felt. Product troubleshooting is my jam. I'm kind of a green color personality in a lot of ways, even though yellow is really kind of my first color. Green, I love the research too. I love to help people with their supplement protocols to keep their bodies healing. Follow-up is truly key, and I love that part of it. Happy and healthy friends share. They honestly, bottom line, besides I want them to see the success, they share their experience. You can't do this business alone and expect to be successful. And I learned that very early on. But keeping together, is progress, right? Working together is success. Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is a success. And that's a quote from John Maxwell. And that's what I feel like, working together, troubleshooting with my team. So 15 months in, we ranked up to senior Ruby. That is when I really saw this opportunity as a mission field. And I say that this to me is a mission field. God kind of pulled back the reins on this rise because it was rather, in my mind, we were rather quick. I made my teacher salary up in 1 year, staying home with my kids. But at that point, God kind of pulled the reins back a little bit and made us a bit still, made me open my eyes to his calling on my life, to use this opportunity as an invitation to partner with him in this, not just to change lives through health, but to change lives for him. And we stuck around senior Ruby for about a year. Being more still in this season was really quite helpful for me personally. I can look back on that and know exactly that is what God was doing. Not in the moment, didn't like it at all, felt stuck, wanted to go further, wanted to go faster, right? Not my timeline. My body doesn't heal on my timeline. This business opportunity wasn't going to happen on my timeline. And so those reins were pulled back. He was doing a good work behind the scenes We weren't ready to rock and roll just yet, even though I wanted to. I was to be still. Just be faithful is what I kept hearing him say. Just do the next right step and be faithful. Be consistent. Say yes to my invitation to work in the stillness. All things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. I had to stay faithful to the purpose and be obedient, especially in the stillness. That's where the growth happens until it was time to push for Emerald. We accomplished that rank on exactly my 3-year Plexiversary in 2019. And I feel like we often find God's will when we just simply do what's next and obediently respond to the normal duties of life. One of the best pieces of advice I have gotten in life is to do the next thing. We encounter God's guidance as we engage, and we invest ourselves in our current circumstances. Want to know God's call, God's will for you? What does he put forth for you to do today? And you just do it. That's what got us to Emerald. My team doing the next right thing, working together in step as we invested in our current circumstances. We were a team who may not have been equal in experience, talent, or education, but we were and are a team equal in commitment. That was key. We were all on the same page about our commitment. And so we were onward to Sapphire. Momentum was high, and it was hurry up and wait already. Our onward to Sapphire journey took 3 years. Tick tock. I could literally hear my watch clocks tick tock, tick tock. I am impatient. There I said it. I admit it. Our momentum was high, headed into Emerald, and we sat for 3 years. God said, trust me. And in the last 3 years, my team and I have faced big adversity. Big business builders have quit. Feelings of failure, frustration, defeat, all of it. But I wouldn't trade that time for anything. The delays that frustrated us most, even those that came as a result of another person's quitting, opting out, did not override the intentionality of God's purpose on our team. Life's delays are often divine detours, positioning you in the best place for God's plans to be served in your life. Those setbacks set you up for a comeback. And in March this past year, as I said, we ranked to Sapphire 1 month before my 6-year Plexiversary. The game changer for me is that I asked God to really, for me and my team, to give me courage. I was lying in bed December 31st, New Year's. I was in bed sick with COVID. Fun stuff. But I asked God for courage for not only me, but also for my team to fully engage in what he would put before us each day in the new year. Whatever that was, again, do the next right thing, whatever that was. I asked for the faithfulness to stay on the path, no matter the outcome, until such time as we would hit Sapphire, whenever that would be. Trust him again. Do the next right thing. Let the rest go. Keep a firm confidence in his purposes and his plan. Sapphire, I knew, was in his plan. Diamond is in his plan. Double diamond is in his plan. I know it. We just have to stay faithful to that next right thing and his perfect timing. Ask for courage to fully engage and then go do it. Besides the do the next right thing advice, I hope this little bit of advice as I start to wrap this up helps you too. It's kind of like the secret sauce, I guess, if you will, for why I love this business so much and how I feel or why I feel that I've been successful. Our team has been successful in this business. What you can apply right now at any rank. God gave me this sitting in the shower about 2 months ago. I do my best thinking in the shower. I love it then when the water just kind of immerses me. It feels almost baptismal, I guess. But this is what he clearly told me. If somebody was going to stick a microphone in my face and ask me what that secret sauce was, Sara, secret sauce for Sapphire, what is it? This is kind of what he showed me. You have to work your business. Yep. Okay, duh. I have to work my business. Wow, that's very profound, God. This is what he actually said to me besides the work. That came first. He had my attention, right? You have to work it literally every day. Sometimes, yep, it's going to take sacrifice. It's always going to take commitment and dedication. But work is service, seeing it as service to others, a way we can co-create with God, serve others in this world. It's a place where discipline happens. God uses work to form our hearts. It's good, it's purposeful, and it's necessary. So this is what he laid out for me. So it's an acronym, right? The W, the O, the R, and the K. But work, we have to work. Effective work, though, in these areas, your why. So W in work is your why. O in work is obedience. R in work is right thinking. K in work is killing it with consistency. The road to success and greatness is always paved with consistent hard work. Outwork your competitors, be authentic, and above all, chase your greatness. That's a quote by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I love him. Just thought that was such a great quote here. But the road to success is not paved with good intentions, right? It's not good paved with just saying, I should do this, I can do this. It's paved with the actual work that you do. So W is for why. You need to know why you're doing this if you are going to work hard. Work hard isn't fun sometimes, right? Hard, there it is, working hard. So if you know your why in this business is your compass. Your why isn't about wealth, although that's a possibility for some. Some do work very well for that monetary gain, and that's okay. I'm not saying it's wrong, but if that's your only focus, you're always going to be chasing after that with probably not such good intentions. It should be about worth. What gives you value and what can you give value to others? John Maxwell says, when you find your why, you find your way. When you find your why, you find your will. When you find your why, you find your wings. And a couple of tips to articulate that. Keep it short and simple. Keep it actionable. And use very positive, affirmative language. Your why needs to be really personal to you and evoke really positive emotions. My why right now, to give you an example, I have it put up on my wall in front of me here. My why is my family deserves time and financial flexibility so that we can serve and live to our greatest potential. You need to believe that you can and that you will achieve this why. Think big, be bold. Does your why make you cry? Mine does. When I look at that for my kids, my family, and where we are in this world that God has put us in, our little bubble, that makes me cry. O is for obedience to this why and vision you have for this work. When we are obedient to our calling, we honor God. It pleases him. Daily, we're called to work our callings. What are your goals? What do you want to be known for? Who do you serve? How do you make people's lives better? Why would people want to become a part of your team? The answer to these questions are the what we should be obedient to as we work. Work at this with your whole heart because you are working for the Lord, not for man. R is for right thinking, belief in yourself, belief in this company, belief in the products, belief in this business model. If your belief isn't at a 10 out of 10, like in all of these areas of belief, then why isn't it? Can't sell it if you're not at a 10. If you're at a 5, can't sell it if you're not at a 10. My belief is absolutely 100% through the roof in all of these areas. When it's not at a 10, and there are times that it's not, right? Devil's sneaky. He wants to take down your vision and your belief. Then it's up to me to take actionable steps to raise my belief and vision to a 10. I read books. I listen to podcasts. I watch videos. I pray. I go on walks. I go to events. I gather my team. I get on Zooms. Right thinking promotes right direction in creating a healthy business owner. A healthy business owner creates a healthy business. Recruiting, retaining, duplicating, leading, all those are the pillars of our business. All of those stem from your mindset and your belief. It's too important not to work on. Lastly, K is for killing it with consistency. Consistency beats intensity all the time, anytime. If you are persistent, you will get it. But if you're consistent, you'll keep it. And that's what we're after, right? Legacy, keeping it. Consistency transforms average into excellence. It's key to all work, not only getting you to where you want to be, but also maintaining what you've built. I've not missed a day of IPA in 6 years. Even on vacation, I can plug it in somewhere. 6 years, I haven't missed a day. Has it always been easy to be consistent? Hardly. Got to work at it most days, but it has yielded a lot of fruit because it's not about doing the big leaps in life. It's about doing the small, simple things in life that compound over time. You got to lay the foundation before you build the house. Think of your online business as a physical brick and mortar storefront. And if consistency is your open for business sign, how often are you open? If you're only consistent once in a while, your business volume will reflect that. Be consistent, being open for business in the areas of posting to Facebook, reaching out, following up, casting vision, customer care, leading, retaining, recruiting, duplicating, mindset, all of that. It lays the strongest foundation for building from silver to diamond. But it also helps you to maintain where you're at as well. Even when the cracks and the fissures show in your foundation, they will show. They show in mine, guarantee it. Any diamond will tell you, any jewel will tell you, any ruby will tell you. Consistency can patch them up. Get into action. Do the things consistently that got you to that strong foundation in the first place. Reaffirm your why. Be obedient. Align your thinking, belief, building your belief, and remain consistent. Go to work in the areas of your business today to make sure your foundation is strong. Then build on up from there. Oh, the adventures that await when you say yes, right? Go all in and know why you do this, especially when it's hard. Stay obedient to your why, align your belief with big vision, and consistently pursue this adventure. Will it be hard? Yep. Will it be unexpected? Yep. Will it stretch you? Yep. Will there be growing pains? Yep. Will you question it? Probably, but will it be worth it? Absolutely, 100% without a doubt. You were created for purpose, impact, and to work. Yes, you were made to do good, hard work. God is more for you. believe it? Who wants to stay stuck in a place of just getting by, or living a mediocre life, or living without a purpose or way to impact others? I pray that you prosper in what God has waiting for you when you are faithful and diligent and going for more. Because you got to claim it, you got to believe it, and you got to go, do, and achieve it. That's all I have for you tonight. Thanks for hanging out.
Well, dang, girl, for someone who doesn't really like public speaking, you sure bring it.
Well, I loved it. I wrote it out 100%. These remarkable tablets are fabulous.
That's amazing. I do too. I always put it on a Word document because otherwise my squirrel brain will go, what was I going to say? But I'm really also glad that I remembered to hit record because there's just so many good thought questions in here. Like just really good things to truly like listen back to and reflect on and think, where am I at with this? Where am I at with this? Because I'm telling y'all, no matter whether it's day one, you're starting this or you've done it for 10 years, like you go through the same mental struggles. We all have this thing up here that likes to hold us back and make us think we're not worth what we're working for. You know, we all have that, no matter where you are. You can have all these affirmations of thousands and thousands of people on your team, yet still somehow this takes over and makes you feel like you're not worth it. Yep. But I have so much that I wrote down. Like I love when you said, when you're going through this struggle. So like, I remember I also went silver before I had my products. And I remember my thoughts then, and even my thoughts now of reaching out, are people going to say yes? Or are they ever going to do this? Like, it's hard to trust God's timing in things. Mm-hmm. And because we can't see it, we can't see his path for us. It's only in hindsight where we're like, oh, there it was. Right. But we can't see that. And so it's hard for us to trust that. But if you trust God, you got to trust that. Right. Yeah. So I loved that. And I love when you pointed out that you did not know Chris well, so your sponsor. So I will tell you, I was looking through here. I don't think a single person on this call I knew before Plexus. So I want y'all to keep this in mind because I hear this so much from people when they're even considering this business that, well, I don't know enough people and none of my friends are going to want to do this. And like my closest friends and family were actually not the ones that came along and joined me in this. The majority of my level ones, and I have quite a few, I'm very wide, I intentionally networked. I met people. I went to my husband's Facebook page and messaged all his people. And, you know, I joined homeschool groups to network with other homeschool moms. So don't feel like just because you don't have the people around you right now that you can't continue to grow that. Everybody needs health. Everybody needs to feel better, you know, and you can go seek the people. There's plenty of people in the world. So I love that. And how you said it took 4 months of you thinking on it. So the first time, it's not like the first time you said yes to Chris. I'm sure she had to follow up and be consistent. And it's scary to follow up with someone because you're like, what are they going to think of me if I send that message for the 7th time? Am I annoying? But again, that's this getting in the way. Now we can be annoying, but you know, let's maybe not send a super annoying message. We can avoid that. And then and then do the next right thing. So I think one of the most overwhelming feelings I've had throughout, you know, I look back at my 8 years and there's so many great moments and I love this business and this opportunity. But the one thing that always every person hits over and over and over is you get this feeling of this is hard. This is frustrating, right? We all have, you can have a great day and sign 10 people. And the next day, if you have 10 people reach out and say something mean, you're like, this is so hard. It's never going to work. Forgetting you just had a great day the day before. And I love how you said, just do the next right thing and be obedient in the stillness one day at a time. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's just good to focus on, that it is one day at a time. Just do the next right thing and trust God and trust that he's got you. So I had a lot of questions, but as I wrote them down, you answered them. So good job. You read my mind. And I love your acronym. That's a great shower message God gave you. Yeah. Way to go, God. I guess the one question I still had left, the only one I had left on here. And if y'all have any questions for her, feel free, you can unmute, you can go in the chat. But just what is something that just kind of was an encouragement to you in tough seasons? Because we all face them. And I know some people here are in them. And so just, is there something that you remember was just like a true encouragement to you that kind of helped you through those times?
Yeah, I think for me, my business is mainly built on a lot of people that I don't know either, or people that I haven't met in person. So I've built a pretty decently sized network through social media. I love to write. That's the former English teacher in me. I'm sure you could probably tell that a little bit. I love quotes. I love to kind of, talk and sing song and all of that. And so I love to write and I love to connect with people. And I had a Ruby who went to another company. And it was probably the most challenging time in my business. She was a really good friend of mine and didn't tell me, just went live on Facebook to announce that she was going to this other company. And, I wrestled a lot with that and what could I have done differently? And, what could I have said differently? How could I have led differently? And, I think in just claiming that I probably did have some responsibility, not in pushing her, but maybe not in preparing her well enough, but also distancing myself from the fact that that was her choice. It wasn't my responsibility. The Lord really spoke to my heart through a lot of different people on my team that really we banded together in those moments. And I had a level 4 at the time say to me, this is not who you are. This is not a defining moment for you. This is a moment that God is using to teach you about how to reflect as a leader, how to take control as a leader, how to step kind of into, maybe a bigger role than I had been playing for her. And her decision is her decision. And I've come to just bless and release that. Blessing and releasing for me has been the most freeing thing in this entire business. And honestly, I learned it almost the first month of this business because I had somebody that joined and quit almost within about 2 to 3 days. And Lori Bradford actually was one who had said to me, and maybe it was a video. I don't even think she said it to me directly, but it was bless and release. And so through that, learning that very early on, having gone through the seasons in my business and cycles and having this particular really hard thing happen and having that level 4, just step into your greatness. Take this, this is just a moment to learn from it. And that's the moment that kind of the teacher became the student. And it was very, very encouraging, as hard as it was. And it took me some time to grieve that. And I took some time to grieve it, still worked, did the next right thing. That was her decision. That didn't mean what I was doing was wrong, or this company was wrong, or this business was wrong, or my team was wrong. I had thoughts of that. Like, this is wrong. Why is this hurt so much? But yet it was how God used this vehicle to really change my heart and make me teachable in those moments when I was the teacher. So that was hard, but very encouraging.
Well, and this community is such a blessing. And I think no matter what hard thing you go in your business, whether it's something as devastating as that can be, or maybe it's you've connected with 10 friends and none of them are even messaging you back, or maybe you're struggling with what post to make. I mean, there's so many different areas, right, that could be hard. And I feel like our natural instinct is to pull away from community because we kind of, like, at least me, I kind of retreat into myself because hard is hard, right? Like, you want to protect yourself and you don't want to be vulnerable and tell people you're struggling, or, you just don't want to air that laundry. And so I think our temptation is to pull away when really that's when we should lean into our community and the fact that we're not doing this by ourselves. And if we are struggling, we have sisters we can lean on that are going to help us and are going to pray for us and are going to, you know, I'm telling you, 8 years in, there's days I get up and I'm like, I don't even know how to message people. How did I forget? Like, I don't even know how to answer this question, when really I do. It's just a hard moment. And that's when I can go to my community that God gave me and be like, okay, ladies, I need help. I can't even remember how to answer this question. You know, and they know I've done that. So, you know, I love that having that community, you know, it is the encouragement. And I think we need to remember that to ask for help, to ask questions, to lean in and be a part of that, actively adding value to others, because that also adds value to ourselves. So I love that. Well, thank you for giving us your time. And I am definitely going to listen to this again. And I may actually have more questions for you, you know, because there were a lot of questions I didn't get to ponder because you were just so good, Miss English teacher, at putting them all in there. So, but we appreciate
Well, ask the questions, because there aren't any silly. Yeah. There's no silly questions. So
yeah. And so if y'all think of anything after this, just let me know, or you can message Sara. She and I are Facebook friends, so you can find her through my friends list, or, I mean, I'm sure they can find you. I would probably spell your last name. How do you pronounce your last name? Holwerda? Holwerda.
Yep, exactly. Okay. Like the hull of a boat.
Yeah. Yes, like the hull. There you go. Okay, I got it now. But, well, thank you, ma'am. We'll let you get back to your evening. And thanks, everyone, for hopping on.